This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all. It's my great pleasure to welcome and introduce today's speaker, Mrs. Sheila Shetty, ma'am, for this virtual webinar, Early Child Development and Breastfeeding, which is organized by KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research, Institute of Nursing Sciences, Belgaum, Karnataka. Ma'am completed her basic BSc Nursing from the Manipal College of Nursing, Manipal University, Manipal in the year 2000, and she completed her Masters MSc Nursing from the same institute, that is Manipal College of Nursing, Manipal in the year 2008, and she has a total 18 years of teaching experience, and she's the examiner for various universities, and she is the research guide for the master students. She is the life member of various professional organizations such as TNAI, Critical Care Nursing of India, Pediatric Nurses Association of India, and she has the number of honors and awards for her credits. Among them, she received a Good Teacher Award during the annual day celebration of Manipal College of Nursing, Manipal. Then she won the Best Poster Award for the poster that is titled Magnitude of Childhood Hypertension in India. Then she won the Best Paper Presentation Award and Best Poster Award, and she was the resource person for the many conferences and workshops, and she has more than 15 publications. She has published more than 15 public research articles in the international and national journals. With this brief introduction, I heartily welcome on behalf of the principal ma'am, HOD ma'am, and from all the faculty department of child health nursing, I heartily welcome you, ma'am. And also I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants and the students from the various parts of the country. Thank you one and all. I request ma'am to begin with the session, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good morning, all. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizing committee of this webinar for the opportunity given, for the warm welcome and kind words of introduction. Thank you. Warm greetings to all those who are gathered for this webinar from Manipal College of Nursing, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. I will share my slides. I hope my slides are visible, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Good morning. And I wish all of you World Breastfeeding Week celebration, which we are celebrating from August 1st to 7th every year. Here is a topic assigned to me, early child development and the breastfeeding. Quite apt topic which has been selected for the breastfeeding week, what we are celebrating from 1st to 7th. And we'll be looking under various headings of this topic. So before I go to the topic as such, let us just brush upon the other things which are very essential for this. So these are the outline of my presentation. I'll be looking into the importance of breastfeeding, breast milk, and what is that early child development, and the relationship between breastfeeding and child development. The few of the challenges which are faced by the stakeholders of breastfeeding, and lastly I'll end up with the certain actions which can be taken to tackle certain challenges so that we can have effective child development. So every year, as I told, we celebrate a World Breastfeeding Week in the first week of August. And as you all know, every year the World Breastfeeding Organization comes out with the lots of with a theme which is considered to be apt for that particular year based on the need which has been identified. So I just put here the previous 5 years breastfeeding celebration themes you can look into. So all those, somewhere it touches upon the children, breastfeeding infants, the age group where the breastfeeding infants are taken into consideration, the mother who is breastfeeding, and other people who come in the purview of this breastfeeding. So this year's World Breastfeeding Week celebration theme is protect breastfeeding, a shared responsibility. Quite a big theme it looks like, because the shared responsibility itself is quite a big word, because it need to be shared by you, I, everybody who comes under the purview of this umbrella of a breastfeeding. So whatever may be the theme, the underlying highlights of the World Breastfeeding Week will lies the same. So it is mainly to benefit the health and welfare of our babies, to provide a good nutrition to the child as well as the mother, and to have a reduction in poverty. And it is considered as a best source of nourishment for young infants and the children, and thereby we are able to reduce some of the early infections in the children, mainly the respiratory infections and the diarrheal diseases. So this is what I told, this year's breastfeeding week theme, which is aligned with the United Nations SDG goals. I am sure all of you are very well aware about the SDG goals. The United Nations has put forward 17 SDG goals. So the breastfeeding week theme has been derived through this, just to touch upon few of the areas of these SDG goals through which we can help out the people in need to recover from the things. So before I go to the topic assigned to me, let us have a quick look on the global figures as well as the state figures. So quite alarming figures we have when we look into, and we need to give a thought what exactly is wrong there, why the numbers are quite a big or small. So coming to the global figure, so you can see there, this is most recent survey data what we have, 2015 to 2020 when the survey was conducted. Only 44% of our infants 0 to 6 months are receiving exclusive breastfeeding. But every World Breastfeeding Week celebration time, we tell that exclusive breastfeeding for 0 to 6 months. And this is what the figure what we have. Only globally, 44% of our children 0 to 6 months receive the breastfeeding. Less than 25% of our children between 6 to 23 months lack appropriate nutrition in terms of a dietary diversity and feeding frequencies. As you all know, after 6 months, we need to start with the complementary foods, where we have to have introduction of a variety of foods, and the frequency need to be changed. So this is where the 25% of our infants lack of both the diversity as well as the frequency of feeding. So having said exclusive breastfeeding, if we could meet, if the children of 0 to 23 months, if you are able to have optimal breastfeeding, 0 to 6 month exclusive followed by a complementary plus breastfeeding, globally we could save 8,20,000 children. Quite a big number, but the work is very small. So that's what the thought has to be given. Lastly, adequate breastfeeding results in economic gains for the individual families as well as a national level. So you can see based on the economic gains may be in the form of a decreased healthcare cost, through which the economic gains can be looked for. And one of the SDG goal of 2030 is no poverty, and this also can be met through the adequate breastfeeding for the respective age of children. So this is a Karnataka figure. The National Family Health Survey, NFHS 2019, the most recent survey which has been conducted. You can see the results over there. And this is in comparison with the 2015 and 2015-16 and 2019-20. So look at the figures, not a great variation in the number you can see. The first one is the antenatal mother receiving antenatal mother receiving antenatal checkup in the first trimester, which is just 71%, and a mother who had at least 4 ANCs is 70 plus. So you can look at the deliveries which are conducted as institutional deliveries. The 97% is being seen in 2019, and the institutional deliveries in the public facility is 64.8% in comparison with the 2015 and 2016. The real numbers which are alarming are here. So these indicators are related to the feeding practices and the nutritional status of our children. And look at the numbers. I don't think I should read there. It is quite visible, and you can see it has been categorized under a various heading. The children under 3 years breastfed within a 1 hour of a birth. This was a 5-year survey which was conducted, and the report was submitted 2019-20. Next was the children under the 6 month who receive exclusive breastfeeding. You can see the number there, 61% in 2019 in comparison with the 54.2. Not much variation, even though there is a 5 years of a gap. You don't see much of an improvement. So that's where a thought has to be given. Children between 6 to 8 months, where we start with the complementary feeding, where we start with the solid or semi-solid foods along with the breast milk, the number is still not great difference you can see. And breastfeeding children 6 to 23 months receiving an adequate diet is just 11%. So number is very small, big thought. This is more important. Now you can see there the last 4, where we are talking about early child development and the breastfeeding and what is our number. No doubt from the 2015 to 2019-20, some variation in the numbers have happened, but 2019 numbers are itself speaking about the amount of breastfeeding and the amount of awareness or whatever may be the things which are lacking. That's the reason why the numbers are being shown there. Okay. So having seen the facts, figures globally and state, I am not sure. I didn't get the Udupi district. So you can have a look into your district as well, so that the programs which we can run in the form of a World Breastfeeding Week celebration, it can be, we can have a move little more faster, and we can have advantages received by these groups. So look at this picture, how nice. The mother, the Indian mother, of course, wearing a sari and baby well packed, and look at the hands, how the mother is supporting the baby, and the look of a mother and the baby facing each other. A very enchanting appearance when you look at this picture. So the Sanskrit saying goes like this: Pavo amrita rasam pitva kumariste shubhanane dirgayushya apavinot devaha prasyamrutam yataha. Means, as deities and God have obtained longevity by consuming nectar, that is Amrit, your child should also get longevity by consuming your breast milk, which is equivalent to nectar. That means in Ayurveda, breast milk is considered as equivalent as a nectar. I am sure all of you know what is the nectar or Amrita and how important it is to consume. So for children, for infants, the breast milk is considered as equivalent as a nectar. And this is what we need to emphasize when we come face to face with a group of individuals or a group of mothers or caregivers, and that may stimulate them to and start with the things what they have not yet started, or wherever they have stopped it. So this is the WHO and UNICEF recommendation. I am sure all of you are well aware, and we day in and out we keep on telling this as a parrot. So initiation of a breastfeeding within 1 hour of a birth, exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, introduction of a nutritionally adequate and safe complementary foods at 6 months, along with the continued breast milk up to 2 years, and most importantly, the skin to skin contact. So very essential recommendations which are put forward by the UNICEF and WHO, which tells us how important the breastfeeding is and the breast milk is to the young infant and children. So this is what we need to tell the mother and caregivers. When the mother feeds the baby, it is not only to satisfy the thirst and the hunger of a child. No doubt that is the main reason why the baby need to be fed with the breast milk. Apart from that, the baby also receives a love and affection, a bonding which is established between the mother and the child. And the immunoglobulins and the antibodies present in the colostrum and the breast milk helps the child to have a good immune system, thus preventing the infection. So these are some of the things which we need to keep in mind when you emphasize the things to the stakeholders. So this is one of the person, the clinical manager of a nutritional department of John Hopkins Hospital, who has put the things in her own version. Mother's milk is more than a source of nutrition for babies, and it is rich in hundreds, not hundreds, possibly thousands of molecules that can have a good effect on a child's health. And these benefits occur not only in infants, it continues in the later stage of a life as well. So we will look into this because there are certain evidences which has proved the breast milk is not only important up to the age of infants or young children, it is also helpful in the later stages of its schooler, adolescent, and the later on life. So as we have seen, the children breastfeeding is very essential. Along with the breastfeeding, the child also has to receive a nurturing care, and the child's brain development is considered to be faster during the first 2 to 3 years. And these are the things which come under the nurturing care, which includes the health, nutrition of a child, a responsive and very accountable care to the child, meeting the safety and security needs of a child, and early learning depending on the age of a child. Okay, so that is how it is put under a broad heading as a nurturing care. Now, any of the 5 components are not met, that means cost of inaction we may have to pay for it. So these are again the figures which, if you don't take care, and if all the 5 components under the nurturing care is not met, this is what we are expected to face. 250 million children below the 5 years of age are at risk of not reaching their full potential. 25% will have a reduction in their average adult earning potential. This is what the previous slide shows, that the breast milk is not only important for infancy and young child, it is also required for a later on stages, and that is what the figure shows. 25% reduction in average adult earning potential, and national loss up to 2 to 3 fold on a health and education investment, because children who are sufferers of a lack of breastfeeding may be a candidate of a frequent visits of hospitals, and different type of educational services may need to be invested, and that's where the national loss of 2 to 3 fold is being considered. Okay, we'll get back to this slide at the end once again when we look into the actions. So please remember the cost of inaction. So coming to the child development, this all I'm sure, as I'm told that you all are a third year BSc nursing students, and pediatric child health nursing is one of the subject, and I'm sure all of you are well versed with what is child development. Quite a big term when it comes to development, and when we do a growth and development assessment of a child, you know that lots of areas we touch upon, and in conclusion we tell that whether the child is appropriate for the age or not. So this is how a book definition of child development is. It's a process of change in which a child learns to handle ever more difficult levels of moving, thinking, speaking, feeling, and relating to others. Of course, all those things which you can see in a light blue color are age appropriate. As the child moves from one stage to other stage, this will move in a very mature way. Okay, so that is how it's a process, because it doesn't suddenly come. So it's a process where all those changes can be witnessed as the child grows in its age. So the principles of a growth and development, I'm sure all of you have gone through. And one of the important principle which we see is each child is unique at birth. Not only at birth, when they are growing, they are unique in their growth and development as well. But we should remember there are few principles which are guided within the growth and development as well. The growth and development of children are patterned. It doesn't suddenly jump and come. So as you know that 0 to 1 year is a very crucial period for the children to have attained all the milestones, either it is a gross motor, fine motor, or all the 5 stages of a development. It's a very patterned way how the child moves from one stage to the other. It's of course a continual process from a birth to end of life. Interactive, very essential, because there are lots of stimulation the child requires. When you look into the uh, evidence-based studies, you understand, you'll be able to understand why interaction has come as one of the principle over here. Because leaving the child alone to grow himself or develop himself or herself, it's such a foolish thing to think of and do it. So that's quite a good interaction which has to be established or between a caregiver, parents, and the child, so that the development of a child is considered to be optimal. Of course, it's an integral part of a child's life, and it's embedded with the child's own customs, beliefs, practices of the family. Okay, so these are some of the things which we need to keep in mind when you assess the child's development. When you do as a part of your growth and development, whether the child is appropriate for the age or not, you assess and look for the other patterns which are contributing in the form of an interaction, and the customs and beliefs which are any interference with that. So all those things need to be given a thought. So having said the child development, so these are the areas already I told you, the most important areas which we look for. The physical development of a child, where we assess for a gross motor and fine motor development of a child. The cognitive development of a child, which includes quite a higher level thinking as the child matures. The language development, the communication pattern of a child is included, and social emotional levels of a child, which includes self-regulation, emotional control, stress management, and the way the child behaves, or the temperament of a child. So all those are the components of a development. So do you think we can just have a child kept in a room and look into whether the child will develop the physically, cognitively, socially, emotionally? No, it's impossible. It cannot happen. If it happens, it's a miracle. So in being a human being, without these components, to have this child development attained, it's a impossible task. So these are the things which need to be backed up, so that the child, when we tell early child development, and if you want the child to attain this child development in a potential manner, so these are the 4 important things which need to be backed up. Positive caregiving by the caregiver or the parents, optimal nutrition and the maintenance of a health of a child protection, safety and security needs of a child which has to be met, and early education depending upon the age of a child. Okay. Book picture tells early child development from the gestational age to the 8 years. Okay, so that's the reason why early education is one of the component which has been included here. So, but 0 to 2 years is considered as a very crucial period when we take into consideration the early child development. Okay, but as some of the books tells that up to 8 years we do consider as early child development. The combination of this nature and nurture establishes the foundation of a child's future life. Okay, and when you have interaction with the caregivers or the parents, this is what need to be emphasized along with the breastfeeding. No doubt breastfeeding is the most important component. Along with the breastfeeding, these are some of the things also need to be met, so that the child develops optimally and as an individual and a useful individual to the society. So as I mentioned, 0 to 2 years is a very crucial period. The reasons written over there. The baby's brain, as you all know, is at birth is quite immature, and the birth to 2 years, brain is considered to be most sensitive to all the positive and negative stimulations of the inputs what we give. So this is 0 to 2 years. The children will be in the hands of a caregivers, and if the caregivers are working parents, and they will have substitutes, of course. So one of the important thing which need to be remembered is the brain development, which is very sensitive for any of the positive and negative inputs or the stimulations. So this is what interaction I told. Back and forth interaction is nothing but every small and big interaction which happens between a mother or a caregiver and the baby plays a very, very important role in building or developing a brain of a child and preparing a child for its future life. Okay, and that's where the stimulation, interaction, positive stimulations, etc., plays a very important role. And that's the reason why we tell when a mother is breastfeeding, she's not supposed to only breastfeed. There are other components also which I will touch upon, which need to be emphasized. That's what I meant with the back and forth interaction. Mother need not wait for an opportunity to interact alone. Yeah, it's now my time to talk to the child, play with the child. No, mother need to see that every activity which is there in between a mother and a child will be taken into full consideration and the interaction is established so that the brain development is fully developed. So I'm sure this picture explains you very well. You can see why 0 to 2 years is very critical because of the brain development. And you can see 3 of the curves over there. The vision and hearing, the language, and the higher cognitive development, which are at the peak. The 0 to 1 year, the birth to 1 year is a stage where you can see all these things, 3 things are at the peak in a normal manner. So having this picture in mind, you cannot just show this to the mother and tell that, see, your child is at this peak, child has to grow. So what are the things which need to be done so that the child reaches its potential in the areas of a vision, hearing, language, and higher cognitive function? That is what we as a caregivers need to emphasize to the parents at every time during our interaction. Okay. So early child development, the brain development. Have a tactile stimulation with the child, and this is what we emphasize, the play during early infancy, which can have a stimulation to the brain and the brain growth can be there. So having said the ECD, early child development, what are the components of a nurturing which we need to meet? There are certain principles which we need to keep in mind when we look into the early child development. Very easy and very self-explanatory, which you need to keep in mind and pass it on to your caregivers. Much of the learning occurs when they are very young, under the age of 2 years, and these are our young infants and young toddlers who come across during our clinical posting. You come across them and tell the caregivers that this is a very crucial period and lots of stimulation need to be provided to them. They need a safe environment as they learn, need consistent loving attention from at least one person. Most of the time it is the parents, and most of the time we look into the mother there. So now that may be not the trend. Father also is equally responsible and takes care of a child. And lastly, they learn by playing and trying things out and observing and copying what others do. And this is very, very essential. Imitating is the most important component, what you see in our toddlers, and they look upon the adults and they copy the things. So it's a great responsibility on us to see that we do the things which the children can imitate and it is safer for them. So these principles need to be kept in mind when you emphasize early child development and when you analyze the things. So next, moving on to the breastfeeding, the relationship between a breastfeeding and early child development, how important it is to have a breastfeeding, and what breastfeeding plays what type of a role in a child's life. This is I will be telling you some of the articles which are being published, which has brought in quite a good results, which has emphasized that the breast milk and the breastfeeding is very essential for the early child development. Especially many of the articles have touched upon the cognitive development of a child, as the brain development is most crucial during this period. This is a book picture of the importance of a breast milk. I am sure all of you are very well aware. There are major components in the form of water, carbohydrates, proteins, and the fats. Along with that, you have immunoglobulins and the minor nutrients in the form of hormones, nutrients, and the minerals, which touch upon almost all the areas of a child's body from head to foot. You can see that it helps the child to maintain the temperature, hydration of a child, brain development, bone development, teeth development, repair of a body tissue. So these are the various functions the breast milk has in its various components. So this is where you need to emphasize to the caregivers when you give a health education, so that the mothers are encouraged to continue with the breastfeeding in the coming days. So coming specifically to the few of the things, the two of the long chain polyunsaturated fatty acids which are present in the breast milk, this is the one, docosahexaonic acid and arachidonic acid, and the research has proved that these are the two polyunsaturated fatty acid which contributes quite a lot for the brain development and also for the visual and neural development, and this helps the child in the later period of our life for the higher level of cognitive abilities in the form of problem solving. Okay, so this also has, this is a proved one where the longitudinal study has been carried out among the breast milk fed children and their adolescent, how they are performing. So that's where the clear link has been established between the extended breastfeeding, higher IQ level of a children, and the school attainment. Okay, this is what I was speaking about, the longitudinal study where the Lancet has reported, and these are the two fatty acids which contributes very successfully. So this is one of the study which has done among the children who have been breastfed more than 3 months and children who are breastfed 3 months or less than 3 months. So results, this is the result of that. When compared, comparison was done. This is what was seen, significantly higher on the communication among the children who were breastfed exclusively for more than 3 months. Quite a good problem solving ability was seen in the later period of their life. Expressive language was better, and the performance of the children in the school, especially in the calculation at the age of 8 years when the children in the formal schooling, was found to be comparatively better than the children who were less fed. So hence the study concluded that improved cognitive development in children, those who were breastfed, was significantly at the higher end. So when we tell about the term and preterm babies, I'm sure you all know how, based on a characteristic of a children, the term and the preterm, there are lots of differences, and this is one of the few of the major differences which we look for. Depending on the characteristic of a preterm children, they are very much vulnerable because of their preterm labor, underdeveloped organ systems which will be not in par with their body, and they are born with a limited immune system, hence they are prone for infection. And for this type of a children, breast milk and the antibodies present in the breast milk are considered to be a boon which can reduce the infection rates of infection, thus having a adequate amount of antibodies and immunoglobulins in them. So this is one more study conducted in 2006, which reports about the breastfeeding and the developmental outcome of an extremely low birth weight baby at 18 months of a corrected age. Extremely low birth weight baby are the children who are born below the preterm and the birth weight is less than 1000 grams. And this was a hypothesis which was put forward by the study, and ultimately the study results were showed. The long-term benefits of a breast milk for ELBW baby may optimize cognitive potential and reduce the need for early intervention and special educational services. As you all know, these ELBW babies will have a lots of cognitive insults because of hypoxic states. And these are the most of the time the NICU candidates who require quite a comprehensive and a quality high technology care is required for them. Along with all those things, the breast milk plays a very, very important role. And that's what the study has brought in, where these children were followed up to their 18 to 22 months of the corrected age. And it was found that the children had a less amount of further interventions, and they did not require any further special educational services. They were into the formal education as other normal children. So this is a quite a good result which you can see. Otherwise, you can see the children come across with the cerebral palsy or learning disabilities. All those things may be the result which you can see in the children. And that's where the importance of a breast milk shows in the developmental outcome of the LBW babies. So this is one more study which was conducted again among term and preterm babies, and the result shows that there was improved cognitive development of children in terms of picture similarities and the vocabularies. Okay, and breastfed children will be 1 to 6 months ahead of those who have not received, and especially in a preterm baby, this was found to be very effective. So this was one of the Lancet article which was put the importance of a first 1000 days. 1000 days is almost 3 years in a child's life, and the adverse experiences of a first 1000 days has been reflected over there, and where the how you can overcome this, and the things which are there in a pink box, you can see the positive, supportive, responsive caregiving experience in the first 1000 days of a life serve as a protective, preventative, promotive factors for a healthy lifelong experience of a child. And that emphasizes the first 3 years of a child's life, where we need to be very much supportive to the child, and caregiving should be very consistent, and breastfeeding plays a very important role because all those things comes into picture when the mother is feeding the baby. So as in the previous slide, we have seen WHO and UNICEF has very much emphasized on the skin-to-skin contact between the mother and the infant soon after the birth. And those of us read the article on a preterm infant. This is one of the very important thing what you might have come across, the skin-to-skin contact or a kangaroo mother care. One of the component under a kangaroo mother care is a breastfeeding. And you can see quite a lots of improvement we see in the preterm baby when a skin-to-skin contact along with the breastfeeding is given. And these are some of the things where the positive outcomes have been identified. These type of children initiate early breastfeeding, and it can be continued. Exclusive breastfeeding can be continued for 1 to 4 months, and quite a good interaction was seen between a mother and the child, and these children are found to be crying less. Okay, quite a good nice result looks when you look into the skin to skin contact and the breastfeeding. So this is very specific with the cognitive development and emotional development of a child and the mother, how the bonding occurs. So we always tell that the breastfeeding helps us to have a bonding between the mother and the child, and this is a pathway which explains how the mother and the child bonding will be there. So breastfeeding in infants acts as it influences the hippocampus. Hippocampus is the area where it is considered as the emotional center in a child, in a children, and which in further stimulates the hypothalamus pituitary axis, which mediates the stress response whenever the children are in a stress, and whatever the defense mechanism or the coping strategies they need to have. At the same time, when the baby sucks the breast of the mother, the suckling response of this baby forges certain new neurochemicals in the mother, and these neurochemicals helps the mother to identify the needs of a child. For example, when the baby is crying, you might have seen the mother runs and comes to the baby and looks into the nappy whether it is wet, and looks at the time whether the baby is hunger or any other needs the child has. And this is how it is explained with the exclusive breastfeeding in terms of a baby, infant and the mother, which helps them to have quite a good bonding with the help of this cognitive maturation. So this is a one more study which explains the relationship between exclusive breastfeeding for 4 months and longer and a child development in 3 consecutive periods at the 1, 2, and 3 years. This was a multicentric study conducted among 2,900 women and their live-born children 2868. But at the end of the 3 years, there were the children who were there were 2,280. The feeding practices of children were identified and the development of a child were assessed in the form of an infant child monitoring questionnaire, and those are the results what you can see. Okay, infants breastfeed for 4 months or longer had a significant higher mean score in these 3 areas: fine motor skills of 1 and 3 years, higher adaptability score up to 2 years. Up to 2 years is a child in the toddler, and quite a less amount of a temper tantrum, separation anxiety, all those things were under a control among these children who were exclusively breastfed for 4 months and longer. And of course, there was a higher communication, improved communication between 1 and 3 years of age. So this is what the one of the NICU inmate has explained. Breastfeeding is not only essential for infant and young children, it is also essential for the later childhood. And these are the 3 witnesses or evidence-based studies which tells us how breastfeeding is helps in the later stage of our life as well. You can see it was 17 observational studies were conducted, were looked for a breastfeeding support, improved performance in intelligence in the later stage of our life during adolescent and childhood. The second study was on association between the breastfeeding and increased child intelligence and educational attainment and income in the during adult period at the age of 30 years. And the other one was again on breastfeeding and the conduct disorders in our children. Okay, so that makes us aware that the breastfeeding is not only important for infants and young children, it is also essential for the future life of our children. So this is the BBNI gives you collected information or articles related to breastfeeding and various early child development related matters. You can Google and see. Lots of studies are compiled within this information sheet, and if you go through, you will understand the importance of early child development in relation to the breastfeeding. So let us move to the third heading, that's the challenges. The most important people who come under the purview of this breastfeeding are the mother and the child, and of course we as a healthcare personnel, the government policies, etc., also plays an important role. But we'll look into the challenges in terms of a mother and a baby mainly. So first one is the traditional practices. Of course, I don't think I need to elaborate much here. The traditional practices sometimes will be helpful, sometimes may not be. As we have seen, the customs, religious practices plays a very important role in the life of a postnatal mother as well as a newborn infant. So though that may be challenging for both the baby and the mother to practice, not to practice, how much to practice, all those may be the queries which comes into mind. Lack of a support system at home, if the mother is a working woman, at workplace, healthcare facility, accessibility, economical, all those are the barriers which may be facing, which may be the challenge which need to be addressed. Lack of a correct and timely knowledge, especially if the mother is a primary and has not received antenatal education, that may be the issue in the later stage in the during the postnatal period, having a lack of awareness and a lack of knowledge. Aggressive marketing of a baby food, this is one of the important component under World Breastfeeding Week of 2021 about IMS Act. I'm not going to touch upon that. So aggressive marketing of a baby foods which just brainwashes the mothers or the caregivers to move away from the breastfeeding and look upon for the commercially available food packets of the children. So that can be a challenging for the mother to use or to not use, whether it is good, bad. So that's where the knowledge plays a very important role, and quite a good support system should be available. Peer or family pressure to introduce a formula, advertisements from the family members or the other, maybe I have given Cerelac, you see the weight gain. So any mother can be fantasized with that examples and the look of her children. So that can be one of the challenge. Back to work, post delivery, no maternity entitlements. This is really a thing, and I'm sure all of you know that the maternity leave in many of the organization has been increased from 3 months to 6 months, and we are very fortunate in our organization to have this entitlement for us for 2 of our deliveries, 6 months of a maternity leave along with the uh, salary paid leave we get. Okay, so but we need to think of a people who work in a certain organizations where this type of entitlements are not there. It's a challenging, of course, to continue the breastfeeding for exclusively for 6 months and furthermore. Breast condition, exclusive problem with the mother, the various conditions, breastfeed conditions, which can be the reason where the mother may not continue with the breastfeeding, or there may be a temporary cessation of a breastfeeding, can also be a challenging. Maternal illness and the medications, if the mother is some of the things where the transmission through the breast milk, if it is a risk, in that case mother may not be able to continue the breastfeeding. And health conditions of the neonate and the infant, early preterm babies who are very sick, who are in ICU inmates. In that case, breastfeeding may be really challenging for the mother as well as the baby. So those are some of the important challenges in terms of a mother and the child. There are some of the challenges which are put forward by the BPNI, quite in par with the previous challenges what we have seen. So this is what it is addressed in the form of a lack of a skilled healthcare support, where we play a very important role over there. Commercial promotion of a substitute is already addressed. Lack of adequate support at the workplace, no crash facility, and this is really challenging for the working mothers, of course. Large number of women working in unorganized sector, where of course the maternal entitlements may not be available. And lastly, the separation of babies from the mothers, especially in cesarean section mothers, for initiation of early breastfeeding may be a problem, as WHO and UNICEF emphasizes within a 1 hour of birth, the baby has to be breastfed. So this may be a real temporary challenge for the mother, because after 4 to 6 hours, she can resume back. So these are some of the challenges which we have to address and give a thought when you emphasize the breastfeeding to the mother as well as the baby. So having seen the challenges, now we need to address this. So I told I will get back to this picture once again. This was a picture which was put with the nurturing care with the 5 of the components, and if we don't meet, what happens, that also we have seen. Suppose we meet, and this is the advantage what we have. The early child development can be paid off in this form. There can be better health learning capacity in the child in the later period of its life. Increased adult earning, where the potential which also contributes to the GDP of a nation, and poverty reduction, of course, as a result of which, and there will be more peaceful society. And lastly, you can see the nurturing care, supporting care provided by the caregivers, which also plays an important role in terms of nurturing care and having a full potential growth of a child. So this is the concept given in the form of integrated child early child development. Very self-explanatory they are. You can see there the importance of a mother and child dyad has been explained in the under the 4 headings. A good start on life, where we look for the early initiation of breastfeeding and exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, and breastfeeding along with the complementary feeds which need to be continued. Along with that, the vitamin supplementation and birth spacing also was emphasized to have adequate attention to the born child. Support women's health, nutrition and well-being. So to have the baby well, mother should be taken care. So that is how it is emphasized in the integrated ECD model. And links to maternal health and survival. This is, of course, we know if the mother survives, the baby will survive along with that. So this is the concept which emphasizes on integrated early childhood development. So this is the WHO picture of 10 important components which emphasizes on early childhood development. And you can see the second point is emphasizing on the breastfeeding, where provide families with accurate information based on the internationally accepted standards and legally protect the right of a breastfeeding. Apart from that, all the 9 things directly or indirectly contributes to the child development in one or the other way. Depending on a child whom we are taking care or whom we come across, breastfeeding, we need to emphasize if the child belongs to that particular age group and if the mother is a lactating mother. So this is a WHO recommendation already we have seen, early initiation and of a breastfeeding, skin to skin contact, and most important 2 things which was emphasized very recently was the support to the mothers to initiate the breastfeeding and a practical support to the mothers to initiate and establish the breastfeeding and to take care of the breast problems if any. Okay, so these are the 2 important things which are put forward, which we need to address so that some of the challenges which we addressed previously can be tackled. So this was a comprehensive implementation plan which was put forward by WHO. The global statistics when I showed only 44% of children were exclusively breastfeeding. So looking at those statistics, the WHO has brought in a comprehensive implementation plan. You can see that the target of this was to have at least 50% reaching that target at the end of 2025. So having this written in a white and black doesn't serve a purpose. We have a very important role to pass it on and create awareness among the group, and that's where the action plan has to be taken care. So these are the other additional things which are being emphasized by the WHO along with UNICEF. Adoption of a policies based on the International Labour Organization to have a maternal entitlements in the form of leave and higher benefits. And the PFHI 10 principles are the 10 steps all of you are aware. Along with that, it also has emphasized the skin to skin contact, breastfeeding on demand, rooming in, and not giving any additional foods within 0 to 6 months, even water as well, unless and until it is required medically. Provision of a supportive health services as well as infant young child feeding counseling for the antenatal and postnatal mothers as and when it is required. Community support, which includes the mother support groups and the community health promotion and educational activities, which in a larger area we can have a community awareness created so that we can have effective breastfeeding and early child development can be established. So this already we have seen. This was a training in order to have sustainable development goals attained in 2030 and 2025 WHO goal to be attained. Few of the training programs are put forward by the WHO along with the UNICEF to provide skilled support to breastfeeding mothers, help them overcome the problems which they come across during the breastfeeding, and monitor the growth of our children to identify the risk of undernutrition and overweight or obesity. So during a training process, these are being taught. We in our college, the department, faculty of child health nursing and OPG nursing have been trained under BPNI, the infant young child feeding. We are counselors for that. That was a 10-day session which included all those areas which are shown in the slides, which takes care of a breastfeeding, positioning, breastfeeding practices, and problems which the mother comes across during the feeding. All those will be addressed. So this is at the lighter note. What I told, breastfeeding may not be the one work the mother has to do. So please pass it on to the caregivers or the mothers. What other than a breastfeeding, along with the breastfeeding, what they can do to the child so that the child can have a overall development and we can the child can establish the child development at the end when you are assessing. Watch and encourage the parents to do these things with the baby from the beginning at the birth. No point in having the mother saying that the baby doesn't smile back to me. We know that by the age of 2 to 3 months only the baby smiles. But still emphasize the mother that the baby can smile, a baby can understand you, the way you talk, interaction, the bonding can be established. Look and smile at a baby, talk and sing to the baby, hug and touch the baby, play with the baby, read to the baby. So one or the other way, during a breastfeeding, mother is able to touch all the senses, whether it is a hearing, vision, tactile, touch, all those things can be looked for, and this overall stimulation of the senses helps in the early child development, and which we need to emphasize to the mother. And I'm sure all of you know how the effective breastfeeding has to establish. We need to look for attachment. We need to look for the feeding practices of the mother. We need to look for the bowel and bladder habits of a child. All those need to be collected as a history to see that the mother is effectively breastfeeding the baby. In conclusion, education is a key to convincing mothers of the importance of a mother's milk. This is our very important role as a healthcare professionals or care providers. What we can do as a mediocres between a child and the mother is we can just create awareness, pass it good informations, educate the mothers, and this acts as a key for convincing the mothers about the importance of a breastfeeding and the breast milk. And once you tell the mother that this breast milk what you have is very important for your child, for the brain growth of a child, for the gut of the child, for the lungs of a child, all those things, if you are able to open up and tell the mother, I'm sure no mother will take a risk of keeping away from the breastfeeding. Okay, you can try out, and quite a good job if you are able to do and convince the mother and continue with the breastfeeding. So this is one of the important thing where you can take it as a take-home message. It is easier to build a strong children than to repair a broken man. So quite a great thought. So as we have a prevention is better than a cure. This is the same way version of that. If you are able to take care of a children at the very young infancy and young children, did not worry when they are a useful member of a society. Lots of things are backed up to them along with the breastfeeding. You have already witnessed through the evidence-based studies which has shown the results. So this is how the aptly the proverb tells. So to summarize, maternity protection and information is a key to enable a breastfeeding. So whatever information which is apt, whether it is antenatal mother, whether it is a postnatal mother, whether it is a OPD, whether it is an inpatient, whether it is RMCW home, wherever you get an opportunity, day in, out, small, big, primary, multi, whoever may be the mother, please pass it on the information about the importance of a breastfeeding. Early initiation of breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth, very, very essential. You know that a colostrum is a milk which has a very much rich in immunoglobulins and antibodies, which helps as to protect the child from most of the infections. Exclusive breastfeeding till the 6 months of age, because it is more than enough for the child who is less than 6 months to have a breastfeeding alone, which can protect and nourish the child. Lastly, parents plus health professionals plus government, it is nothing but a shared responsibility, whatever World Health Organization has put, World Breastfeeding Week has put the theme this year. Not only the parents, we as a healthcare professionals and the government putting forward the policies, legal things, plays a very important role in having the breastfeeding effective and having early childhood development established. So a newborn baby has only 3 demands. They are warmth in the arms of their mother, food from her breast, and the security of knowledge of her presence. And all these 3 components can be met only by breastfeeding. So if you are good in communication, interaction, if you are able to convince a mother these 3 important things, you are done with the job, and you can have a very good individuals in a society who will be fruitful and will be earning member of the society. Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your extended and elaborative session on early child development and breastfeeding. I hope delegates, if you have any doubts or questions, please put up in the chat box. The chat box is there, and put up your questions on the chat box if you have any doubts. The session is open for discussion now. Please note down the feedback link, all of you. Once you will submit the feedback and you will get the e-certificate. And the feedback link will be open very shortly. Any questions, participants? Okay, you can send your doubts later. There is no issue. We'll try to answer those questions. I, on behalf of Principal and HOD, Department of Child Health Nursing, and faculty from Kahir Institute of Nursing Science, I thank you, ma'am, for your elaborative and extended session on this early child development and breastfeeding. And I extend my thanks to the delegates. In their busy schedule, they blessed us with their presence, and I think this session is benefited to our especially BSc students and other PG students from our college and delegates from the various places from the country. I thank you once again and thanks a lot for attending the session. Once again, I thank you for your valuable words on this early breastfeeding, early child development and breastfeeding, ma'am. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much having seen here and giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We'll,
Thank you.
yeah,
I
we'll
can leave, sir.
end this session. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.